So, what would I tell a 20-year-old John Kim at this stage of my life? Great question. And it got me thinking this week. I try to gather my thoughts in 5 points. Number 1, maximize your singleness. Maximize your singleness. Singleness is a gift. It's not a curse. It's a gift. And for the vast majority of us in this room, that gift is going to last a very short time in the span of our lives. A 20-year-old, I would have told John Kim, maximize your singleness. For me, it would have been 12 years until I got married. I got married at 32. But I would have told him, maximize your singleness. In 1 Corinthians 7, the Apostle Paul describes married men and women as actually being divided. They're divided in their interests because they're married. Whereas the unmarried man and woman can live in undivided devotion to the Lord. So I say, as long as God allows you the gift of singleness, before the right and legitimate dividedness that comes with marriage and family, live in undivided devotion to the Lord. I'm here with my wife and my 2 young children, my wife Lois, and this is the first retreat we've been at where we could just be part of the retreat. We were so excited. There was childcare. So I have a 4-year-old son and a 1-year-old daughter. We said, we'll give it a shot. We'll try to leave our kids. But they're sick. They're in a new environment. We dropped them off yesterday. And we lasted about, 15 minutes, Lois? 15 minutes? She got to hear the first spoken word. May I reintroduce you to the Christ? That's all she got, and she was so full because she hadn't heard a sermon live in years. Because she's always with the kids. You see that? That's my daughter crying. I'm going to watch her after this. I'm going to watch this so you can hear a sermon tonight, Lois. But maximize your singleness. It's a short period of time for most of us. Maximize it. Related to this, point number 2, trust in God's sovereignty and timing for your spouse. Trust in God's sovereignty and timing for your spouse. I say, don't worry, John Kim, 20-year-old. Don't waste your energy on dating romantic relationships where God is not clearly leading to marriage. And I say don't waste your energy, and I mean it. Because relationships take a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of emotional strength. It saps it away. 3 reasons. Because it's very, very taxing. Number 2, because it inevitably leads to emotional devastation. And number 3, it's needless temptation. So I say, don't worry, John, about your future spouse. You're going to get married 12 years later. Don't worry about that. Just live in undivided devotion to the Lord today. Number 3, I would say, John, train yourself to be generous. Train yourself to be generous. As soon as you graduate college at 22, make sure you get a job, make money, and train yourself to be generous. I'm talking about money. I'm talking about money. Matthew 6, Jesus says plainly, you cannot serve both God and money. And we live in a very wealthy country. Oh, I'm not rich. Look at this. Look at this. The meals we eat, the places we stay for $40. Are you kidding me? We're rich. The American dream is not the Christian life. Actually, Jesus said, sell everything you have to buy the pearl that is Jesus. That's the Christian life. You train yourself to be generous. Before real financial responsibility comes, like a mortgage, like car payments, like hospital bills that will come for a full year after you have your baby. Trust me on that. It's just keep coming, keep coming. Before real financial responsibility hits you, and the American dream catches you and says, I have to take care of my own, learn to be generous. I believe that tithing 10% of your income, whether you're, 6-year-old getting allowance or whether you're making money as an adult, tithing 10% is the baseline minimum for all Christians across the board. In this stage of life, when you start working, when you start making money, be more generous. Give as much as you desire and you want to with a cheerful heart, says 2 Corinthians. My first paycheck went straight to church. My second paycheck went straight to my parents. And then I was just able to, in that time, I had no responsibility. I had $200 rent. That's all I had to pay to live with 6 other guys. And I just went to town trying to be generous. And I'd say train yourself to be generous, not just with your money, with your time and your talents as well. But you have to train yourself so that you don't fall into the American dream. Number 4, above all else, commit to and serve your local church. Commit to and serve your local church. The church is the hope of the world. It's more important than the U.S. Army. If God calls you to serve in the U.S. Army, go and serve. But serve in the Salvation Army. That's greater. Because the gates of hell will not prevail against the church. And your local church, not Regen, this is the expression of a bigger, but your local church should be where you primarily serve week in, week out, not just on Sundays. Every night of the week you can go to the court, go to the church. At 20 years of age, you should be past taking from the church. Give me, give me. You should be thinking of giving back to the church. There'll be plenty of people under you that you need to serve now. And they're going to be looking at you even if you don't want them to. Reach out to your pastor, your officer. Ask them, what can I do? Can I vacuum the children's nursery today? Can I fold bulletins tomorrow? Can I drive the van? Do you need a worship leader? Do anything he tells you to do. Serve the church. Own your church, your core. It's not their problem, it's my problem. And don't be part of the problem, be a part of the solution. Serve the church. And lastly, number 5, I would tell John Kim to invest deeply in same-gender relationships, in male relationships. Simple question, if you're going to get married, who's going to be your groomsmen or your bridesmaids? If a couple of people come right to mind, I think you're blessed. Invest. Make those friendships the ones that will go the lifetime. You can raise your kids together. You can strengthen and sharpen each other all throughout your life. Invest in same-gender relationships. Peer, and then every Paul needs a Timothy. Every Timothy needs a Paul. Invest in those that you can invest into. And then look for mentors that will help you. Invest in relationships. I guess one final word I'd say, no matter what comes, John, no matter what hardships, no matter how hard you fall, you get up, you keep going, never give up, finish the race.